Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
What is he talking about?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we have the safest border in the history. Let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute?
I've never heard so much foolishness. The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, he
cooked him. No, he cooked him. Unfortunately, he cooked him.
But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted. Going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Damn, Biden, you about to punch him in his face or something? Look how mad he is. Bro, Trump is just trolling this guy right now, bro. Look at the smirk on his face, bro.
Crazy.
And I will build an iron dome over our country, a state-of-the-art missile defense shield made in the USA. Okay. Missile launch, pshing, boom. It's the most and we don't have it here, but we help other countries in having it. No, we're going to have the greatest Iron Dome. Let's call it Iron Dome. Anywhere in the world. And it's going to be manufactured, a lot of it, right here in New Hampshire, actually.
I've got one that can see.
Hey guys, look at this. I just searched Israel, and this is the #1 video that came up on Odyssey. But I'm going to share something with you guys in just a second. But this is unbelievable. These people think this right here is real. Watch this. I mean, it's real fireworks, no doubt about it. But they want you to believe that Hamas is launching rockets, and it's this billion-dollar weapon system called the Iron Dome that is hitting these rockets in midair. But notice you never see the rockets that are hitting the other rockets. Just watch and see. They're just blowing up. They got all these people in fear, thinking that they're constantly in a war. Guys, you definitely check out this video. This is actually going to be a re-upload, but I'm going to put it on my Odyssey channel. I think I had it on my YouTube channel, but y'all check this out.
So I did a video previously. It was on whether the Hamas missiles are actually contain warheads, because it doesn't look like they do. It looks like they're glorified fireworks, essentially big smoke bombs, if anything, and they don't have explosive warheads in them. And then taking it one step further, the more I looked into the phony Hamas rockets that are, Hamas is a group controlled by Israel, was created by Israel, the more I've found out that the whole Iron Dome defense system, in fact, is basically just rockets that shoot up in the air and then explode. They don't actually hit any, they don't intercept anything. And it sounds kind of crazy at first, but the more you look into it, actually, there's a lot of proof out there that Iron Dome itself is in fact a hoax. So why would they do that? Why would they fake intercepting Hamas rockets? Well, A, the Hamas rockets themselves don't exist to such a great extent, we were told. And B, it instills a sense of security, sense of pride, and also the most important, C, is the Israeli people feel they're under constant attack, but their government is able to help save them. But it's important to feel like you're under constant attack, otherwise you're not going to just go and genocide a whole bunch of Palestinians. So what proof is there that the Hamas rockets are fake? Well, the lack of proof is actually proof, because if they claim that there's so many hundreds of missiles being fired, there should be some images of buildings that got blown up. there should be images of missiles that are exploding and causing actual damage. The videos we see, if you do a search, it looks like a smoke bomb. And this gas station video is a good example.
Pretty much.
This is one of the few proof of Hamas missiles we actually see. And notice how it creates an enormous smoke bomb, and there isn't any damage to the asphalt.
That's crazy.
That is a pretty shitty bomb. That's not even a real rocket. That's just a big smoke bomb.
Pretty much.
But then you look further, and the Iron Dome system, what it does, it doesn't actually, you never see the Hamas missiles. You never see the Hamas rockets. You only see the Iron Dome rockets going out and exploding. And the more I looked into it, the more even Israelis are pointing out that the Iron Dome system is in fact a big hoax. It doesn't work like we were told it does. In fact, it doesn't actually do much of anything. All it does is send up rockets that explode in the air and don't actually intercept anything. So, at first, yeah, it sounds like bullshit, but check it out.
It is an Israeli-designed, American-funded breakthrough in military technology. Or just possibly a kind of optical illusion. Iron Dome is a missile defense system credited by Israel with destroying nearly 90% of the rockets fired at it during the last conflict with Palestinian militants in Gaza.
1, 2,
Not everyone's convinced.
3.
Because the incoming rockets are invisible to the naked eye, a handful of skeptics say that what we're witnessing may simply be the Iron Dome missiles themselves self-destructing without hitting anything.
I don't know exactly what happened, but I raise the question marks, and I would like to have an answer. I asked the IDF, show me your videos, your infrared videos in which you can see almost everything. But they said it's classified.
These Iron Dome missiles, filmed by a wedding photographer, were aimed at rockets fired from Gaza. Israelis believe Iron Dome can protect them from other enemies too. In uncertain times across the Middle East, they hope that seeing is believing. Kevin Connolly, BBC News, Jerusalem.
So this news clip ends with a whole bunch of rockets flying into the air, Iron Dome rockets, and you can see their trails. You see the trails of the Iron Dome rockets, and they all explode kind of like fireworks, but you don't see any actual trails from the alleged Hamas rockets that they're intercepting. That's kind of funny, isn't it? And it's funny how almost every single one of these Iron Dome rockets blows up, supposedly intercepting a Hamas rocket. The whole thing is just, you got to start wondering, is this just, are they just launching basically fireworks? Is Iron Dome's basically a fireworks system that goes up there and makes a loud explosion, and the Israelis feel like they intercepted a Hamas rocket?
That's why you believe nothing and you question everything these days, because if that's the case, then that would actually mean that all of these countries, even ours, are in on some sort of fear-mongering tactic to get its citizens to spend a lot more money. Because think about it. If we're worried about civil war, we're worried about war, period, what industries would benefit from that? Food industries, the weapons industry, these places would benefit from that. And I mean, and seeing as how all these past crises that had happened in the past in this country or wherever, we had some diligent investigators who investigated and found out that a lot of those people were crisis actors. I don't put nothing past anything anymore, man. But what y'all think?
Y'all like Donald Trump, huh? Have you guys ever heard of the documentary, The Dissident? I'm gonna show you a quick snippet of this woman describing it. And I'm gonna watch it and then do a full review. I'm gonna make content. I'm gonna clip a whole bunch of shit through my CapCut. And it's probably gonna go viral. This woman says while making this video, if she goes viral, which she's starting to, from making this description of this video, she will never be able to go to Saudi Arabia. But why would you?
What?
After you watch this.
I've been advised that if this video goes viral, I will never be able to travel to Saudi Arabia, and it's reasons like this why Netflix refuses to show this documentary. Why did Brian Fogel's film Icarus win an Oscar for exposing Russia, but nobody is talking about his film The Dissident? In 2018, one of the world's most famous journalists for expressing his opinions on Saudi Arabia went missing. He walked into the Saudi Arabia consulate in Turkey and never walked out.
If you want to watch the full video breakdown of what she's talking about before me or watching the film, that's her page. It is Christy Bosch. Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
Y'all go watch that, Christy Bosch.
You will be hearing me report on it later. I want all you guys to be safe. I want all you guys to use discernment. I want all you guys to know we're being lied to, and your neighbor is not your enemy. It's these corporations. You see the news talk about Joe Biden this, and they're attacking him now. Do you know why the media is all coordinated to attack Joe Biden right now? Because they are predictively programming you for a one world government. An autocracy. Project 2035. But hey, I'm a conspiracy theorist. It's not obvious. I'm fear-mongering. It's not obvious. There's gonna come a day. And I don't want it to, but it's gonna happen, because a lot of us are sleeping. Where you're gonna look at people like me and go, why the fuck we ain't listen? Imagine if we would've listened. Imagine if we would've stood. Imagine. I guess we'll never know. Peace to God.
Another video, and here we go again. Now, y'all remember when Donald Trump was in court, and then Joe Biden had Robert De Niro to be outside the courthouse and run his mouth and just slander Donald Trump. I mean, just that right there was just ridiculous, just wrong. And that's the reason why you seen Don Jr. go off on him. You seen Trump supporters going at Robert De Niro just out there running his mouth, and it seems like Joe Biden got another comedian slash, I guess, actor running his mouth, slandering Donald Trump on stage. So now it look like he done reached out to Jack Black. This is another person that Joe Biden has went and got, allegedly paying, is what I'm hearing, that he's paying these people to go after Donald Trump and slander him to try to stop people from voting for Donald Trump. So we definitely finna check this out. This one is coming by Benny. He said that Jack Black destroyed by fans for cringe Biden endorsement, and even Benny saying the same thing. How much are they paying you? Because you got to realize he had Robert De Niro at first, and now he is pretty much saying that Joe Biden had his people to tell Jack Black to talk about Donald Trump, to think that's gonna sway people from voting for Donald Trump. He can't use The Rock no more. The Rock don't want nothing to do with him. So now he's trying to find all these comedians to see if he can get them on stage to slander Donald Trump and talk down on him. And that crowd right there is just not working. Not working. So make sure y'all please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything. And shout out to everybody who always stay until the very end. I appreciate all of you who do that. And without further ado, like I said, we definitely finna get straight into this. So let's go.
In order to pledge fealty to the true masters. Matthew McConaughey said that there is an initiation process in Hollywood. This is an open secret at this point. And there have been some really shocking revelations from Cat Williams and Roseanne. We'll get to those in just a second. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is what can only ever be described as the greatest humiliation ritual. It doesn't involve being naked necessarily, although Jack Black doesn't mind being in very little clothing in front of a lot of people. It involves something far more humiliating than Jack Black's naked body. It involves Jack Black doing the single most degrading thing that any American adult can do on camera, which is to endorse Joe Biden and to act like he likes it. Jack Black, who is an actor and a comedian and a musician, and somebody that I hold, I guess, no personal grudge with, did something that made me lose my respect for him forever. He got on stage and did his best rendition of being a good little boy at a Joe Biden fundraiser in Hollywood, packed with Hollywood elites like George Clooney and Julia Roberts and so on. And he did a song and dance for his masters.
Gotta find part 2.
For what I gave up to be here. Because when democracy is at stake, Jack Black answers the call.
Blah, blah, frickin' blah, we get it. But I'm not so sure if Democrats get it. Having random celebrities show up on stage and say vote for you doesn't guarantee you a general election win. I'm sure Hillary Clinton can attest to that. Actually showing up and tackling the hard issues and saying the things that everyone else is so scared to say, well, that actually does. And that might make the difference here in the end. As Joe Biden continues to fail in his voter outreach efforts, let's have a conversation and continue to analyze all the details of this election. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so Donald Trump is on the campaign trail, his latest stop Detroit, Michigan, making a little visit at the latest Turning Point action event. Of course, as epic as you might expect.
Oh yeah. It's amazing to see this. Amazing.
The crowd going absolutely wild. That, of course, being the reception. Most importantly, though, what's the perception? Well, it's something along the lines of what I've been saying.
What message is the 45th president trying to send with this event here today?
I believe the president is our best messenger, and he's sending a message of he's willing to show up and meet people where they're at. He's going to these blue cities that most Republicans traditionally don't go to, and he's willing to do things that most traditional Republicans don't do. And I think it shows a lot of respect, and it shows that he's willing to engage and wanting to know what the issues are that everybody's facing in these communities. And I think that it means a lot to black people, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of black voters are turning towards President Trump.
President Donald Trump is willing to show up and meet people where they're at.
Yep.
Exactly what Democrats refuse to do. Democrats will talk, they'll blah 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 a whole lot, but when it comes to actually showing up, they're usually completely missing in action. When the southern border was in complete chaos, Joe Biden didn't show up. When neighborhoods were burning thanks to BLM during the summer riots, Joe Biden didn't show up to help combat the violence, bring back peace and civility. When a train got derailed and there was a massive hazardous chemical leak in East Palestine, Ohio, Joe Biden didn't show up. Democrats never show up. Well, the Trump campaign is sending a very clear message that they will show up where the Democrats won't. Detroit has been a city in decline for generations at this point. The city, of course, boasts a significant black population, and said population, of course, has voted Democrat quite loyally for decades. But where are the results? And most importantly, are the Democrats showing up? Of course they aren't. They just expect you to vote for them based purely off the color of your skin.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Why show up when you believe you're entitled to the vote? Well, that mentality right there, that's going to be their undoing. And Donald Trump is showing up where the Democrats would frankly never have the balls to show up. Not so long ago, Donald Trump was getting praise for showing up in, quote, the hood in the South Bronx.
What are you here for?
I'm here to watch the Trump gathering rally here.
What do you think about him being here?
I think it's great. I think it's dope.
Yeah, I could definitely attest to that. There are more black people voting for Trump than Biden, and everybody knows if you lose the black vote, I don't know which way that's gonna go for you. And I'm not saying black people are special, but our votes are important too, you know. And yeah, Trump pretty much got it in the bag if there is an election. Can't find part 3 either, guys.
He's honoring this shit right here. Oh, Kalai, what we gonna do? Create life? Why would we bring children in this world right now? And what's going on during slavery? When we was getting the most brutal. You niggas is soft today. You niggas is soft today. It wasn't nothing for us to walk down the street, go to sleep at night, and wake up in the morning and walk out our door and see niggas hanging from trees. And you see niggas, families, nigga, father, mother, son, daughter, hanging from a fucking tree. It was nothing. It was nothing. You niggas is crazy. And you niggas today talk about you ready? You ready? You ready? Y'all niggas ain't ready for shit. Nigga, you niggas ain't ready for shit. Half of you niggas ain't even ready for vagina, cause you niggas on ED. Nigga, the government got you on ED, nigga. Fuck wrong with you. Nigga, you nigga government got you on ED. Even your language is ED now. You niggas talk ED. Y'all niggas conscious communities is erectile dysfunction conversation. You niggas is soft. Soft. That's what you are. This nigga ain't had no problem slaughtering our mother and us as babies to put this system into place. And you want to talk about, oh man, he got problems. Oh, he got this going on. Meanwhile, I'm getting up in the morning going to the gym. Meanwhile, everybody I go around and I'm speaking to like, yo, you know what, man? It's not one motherfucking body that...
As we all know, this is the flag of the United States of America. You're going to see it flying big time today because, you know, it's 4th of July. And as we were brought up, we were taught that the parts of the flag had different meanings. Like the 13 stripes represent the 13 original colonies, and the 50 stars represent the 50 states. But what if that's not what they stand for at all? What if the 13 stripes represent the 13 bloodlines, the 13 families? The Astors, the Bundys, Reynolds, Freeman, Russell, Onassis, Kennedy, Collins, DuPont, Lee, Rockefeller, Rothschild, and Van Dunn. And these 13 families have us, the people, cornered. We are lost at sea in maritime law. Also, this flag that we fly everywhere, that we see everywhere, is considered the wartime flag. This flag right here is the peacetime flag. Big difference. Not just on appearance, but on meaning. Have a great Independence Day, everybody.
What if? What if she's right? I think she's right, though. I definitely think she's right. Because it's odd to have 13 stripes that are red, and then you have 13 bloodlines. And blood is what color? Red. Then you got 50 states. And those 13 bloodlines have all 50 states in their pockets. I can't say it ain't true. What about you? If they're just talking?
Oh my gosh. He's talking.
I gotta go back, y'all. What?
Oh my gosh. He's talking.
Wow.
No.
There gotta be
The
a
heck?
specific.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Somebody said it's some sort of species. It's a minor bird.
What else could it say?
A meaner bird or something.
Tweet, tweet, tweet.
The bird.
Wow.
It is talking. I swear to God.
Said mimics.
Oh.
But it sounds like a robot.
He's so.
Is it real?
I don't know. Is it like a robot? Like,
It's crazy.
pretty good moving robots.
What?
Why is a bird?
Yeah, say something.
Wait.
It's like saying something talk about. Look, its eyes look
Ew,
like
it just
cameras.
Wait, it just peed. It just pooed.
I know.
Did you snap back into it, bro?
Oh my gosh.
All right, we gotta go, guys. This is getting weird.
Careful, Willow.
Okay, yeah, I'm scared of him. Like,
dude, get out of here. Well.
Wow.
Why did I not see this before? I just watched a montage of Donald Trump, how they were clowning Donald Trump for not being the president. What I'm about to tell you is they planned this. How do I know? What the fuck is that? A fuzzy. Anyway. Around 2012 to 2014, a high schooler, an 8th grader, proved that every president was related. So they came with damage control. You know, we always tell our kids, we always tell our daughters, our sons, that one day maybe they'll become president. When we know they'll never. So, to bring back that perception, that allure, that lie, Donald Trump, who was a registered Democrat his whole fucking life, registered Democrat his whole life, decides to run for president as a Republican. As a Republican, also was labeled a racist as a civil rights activist under Jesse, best friends with Mike Tyson. I mean, you look at all his quote-unquote opposite racial friends, and he was still labeled a racist. Even now today, he's propped up as this savior to man. This man who can relate to the people with 34 indictments. This prop of savior. And as a symbol that anyone can become president by design. Brought peace to the Middle East. Headed the Abrahamic Accord. And now we're watching all that crumble. And he's going to come in, swoop in, and save America. But, you saw that debate. Did he or did he not say Israel should finish the job? Does he align with the same thinking the American people does? They will reveal themselves when they open their mouths. But I got a question. And I recanted that I do think there is going to be a presidential election. But here is the devil's advocate part, because I understand the reason behind the Ukraine and Russia war. Say he stops the war, and the BRICS currency takes the hold it does. What is going to happen to our economy? What is going to happen to our dollar? When the only reason that dollar hasn't collapsed is because of that war. If the war doesn't go on, does that mean the collapse ensues by design?
It's possible, because I said this in the last video. I said that if BRICS does take over, what's going to happen to the smaller countries? And I already said that we're going to become a target because we're not a part of that. So I don't know. It's really hard to say, because when we was just looking at the Iron Dome video, and they was talking about how that stuff is a hoax, and you have to really ask what is believable anymore, because you got crisis actors. Are the wars even real that we see? Are the dead bodies that they put on social media, are those really dead bodies? Because I mean, synthetics can look very, very real, especially if we're talking about a dead synthetic. I mean, you know, it's just questions you have to ask.
Why you don't bring the name Tyron into the play? There's a reason behind it, because something happens before, okay? And let me explain this, because his name Tyron is actually his real name. His name is Tyron Carl Williams Carlson. So let me put it this way.
I gotta ask this question. Can anybody explain to me why people's name Willie or William are also called Billy? Why is that? Why is that? I always wanted to know that. Sidebar.
Billy Carson is literally cloned. This is what you call, they clone Tyron. That's Billy Carson in a way. He have a case and he cloned himself by creating a new character. So that's why his name is Tyron. This is Tyron. They cloned Tyron. So literally, he's playing the game by cloning himself to a new identity. That's why you don't see the name Tyron is within his name. He gave you Billy Carson. The Tyron disappeared because he reinvented himself for a new agenda. Now let me say this. Like I said before, his upbringing. Well, Billy Carson started. You know, there's a lot of names. This is where everything starts. This is Dr. York. This is where Billy Carson started. This is the beginning of these so-called UFO people in the black community, UFOs, whatever. That's his upbringing. Dr. York was literally where it started. But you're never going to hear him say anything, because most of the people out there in the UFO community dealing with mostly white folks out here, they don't know that. They just saw Billy Carson talking. But they don't know that we know where he started. His upbringing, how everything started. It started with none other than Dr. York. That's his first jump start, as he cloned himself to be cloning Tyron. So the clone reinvented himself, but this is his upbringing. He starts from here. Now, when he's talking about the Anunnaki, this is where it gets. The Zechariah Sitchin. I just want to be clear on this. This is all propaganda. Now, I'm going to go deeper, because I just want to clear the way. This is where his upbringing comes from. The Zechariah Sitchin talk about, and all of it is nonsense. It's all.
But he's always talked about how he got started in learning those things about metaphysical science and all that stuff. he talked about Dr. Malachi York and Zachariah Sitchin. He always talked about them. So, I mean, it's not a secret, man. And people calling the man a clone, man. I just think sometimes we take this clone stuff too far. I do believe that there are synthetics out there walking around, but everybody ain't a clone. Everybody ain't a clone, man.
And let me go through the picture first. Then I'm going to show you what really go down and why they do this. Why this curriculum system, because it's a system. And they're going to constantly change face and change pace within the system, because there's an agenda against humanity. Let me say this. There's an agenda against humanity.
And there may be an agenda against humanity, but to say that he got something to do with it, I mean, he's just a small piece of the plan, if he is. Super small. Like, we shouldn't even worry about him, because you could just choose to literally not watch him.
I want to ask black people, how would you feel?
What is this hard B in black that I keep hearing? I'm going to get to your question, but I think we have to address the use of language a little bit. We use certain like subtle octave changes and maybe voice tone, deflect, little things. That one we should probably put an end to. It's very weird when I hear it. But after you said black 3 times in your video, you asked how would black people feel if white people had an event once a year and they called it White Beach Week and black people were excluded. That's like the black experience. Black experience is exclusion.
Yeah, that was a fact.
Get real specific with it. Know what a sundown town is? Maybe you don't know.
Sundown
town is a town that excludes, and I'm using that real lightly, people of color after the sun goes down. In a sense, you better not be caught.
There are plenty sundown towns in Tennessee, and I've been to plenty of them. I've stopped at the grocery stores, and you can feel the energy. You know, but just traveling and going through, like, I'm not scared to go to a sundown town. It's just they act different when you stop there. It's not like they're gonna hang you from a tree or anything, but they don't like you. They don't like you.
After the sun goes down in these spaces. That's an extreme version of this, but there are several comments that are like hee hee ha ha in your comment section that are addressing it. Like one of them even was like the Hamptons. The Hamptons is the example of the black version of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
The difference is those spaces that are predominantly white and not labeled that way are unsafe for black people. There is black events, and when white people enter them, they're not in danger. They're not invited, but they're not in danger. That was not.
We literally, if I'm in a black party and we getting down and we having a good time, and a white person walk in, we don't even see you. You're just another person, because we're here to have a good time. The week has been stressful. That's pretty much. So he on point. He on point.
Invite that wasn't saying to go to them, but they're not exclusionary.
Nah.
They're intentional.
Those are facts. If a black person tell your ass to get the fuck out, get the fuck out. But we're not just gonna randomly say get the hell out because you white. It don't even work like that.
There are times that I question all this. It's a movie, it's disclosure, it's blah, blah, blah. And then I pray about it. And something like this comes up on my timeline, and I'm like, thank you, universe. Because if this ain't disclosure for the people who are not on social media, who sit at home all day and watch TV, I don't know what is. I don't think you're ready.
Was chief of disguise.
What all did that entail?
The office I worked in was like the Q in James Bond. We were the Q for the CIA and the intelligence community. So there were different parts of it. Whatever you needed, if you needed a bug, if you needed secret writing or a microdot or a concealment device or whatever you needed, you had to come to us and we'll put something together for you.
What's the most memorable moment from being in disguise for you?
There were a number of them, but one that has to stand out. I went to the White House and I briefed George H.W. Bush, the president at the time, while I was wearing a full face mask. So we're sitting like this close together, and I'm telling him that I'm going to show him the best disguise that we have. And he's looking for a bag, like, where is it? I said, well, I'm wearing it. and I'm going to take it off. And I reached to start taking it off, and he said, stop. And he got up and he walked and he looked and he looked at it. He didn't know it was a mask. He got up and he walked and he looked and he looked at it. He didn't know it was a mask. He wasn't sure what I was wearing. He sat back down. He said, okay. So I took it off, and I was holding it up in the air so he could see it. My whole head. It had hair and a face and a neck.
So you could walk around as someone else?
Absolutely.
And that would be the disguise.
Woo, we getting closer, y'all. We getting closer. On Jennifer Hudson.
They ain't hiding it no more, man.
Putting them little tidbits in their ear. Gotta love it, don't you? Anyways, love you, bye.
You know, I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it here. George H.W. Bush presidency term was around 89 to 90 something, right? So if that lady was showing him one of their best disguises and he didn't even notice she had a mask on, imagine how much better the CIA has gotten at disguising themselves. And you know how dangerous that is, though? They can do things like dress up as a black man and go kill a white guy and continue to put this country against each other. Now, this is all alleged. I'm not saying this actually happens. YouTube, this is for entertainment purposes only. That's it. But I'm just saying, what if? I mean, you can't put nothing past your G word these days, man. And when you see stuff like this, and they're making it so blatant and so straight to the point and so frank, live on TV in front of millions of people, they're saying, who cares? You guys can't do anything. That's because they know they have gotten so far up our ass to the point where even if we try to prepare now, what we have used to prepare ourselves to go against them would not compare to the things that they have to go against us. That, what you just saw on the Jennifer Hudson show, is confidence, man. It's confidence, huh? They ain't gonna do nothing. We got them cornered, remember? It's crazy when you think about things like that. And if there is a civil war, there's definitely going to be casualties amongst us people. But you have to accept that. Just like people who go to war that joins the military and they go to war, they accept that they could come back and they couldn't. But at least in this case, if you don't make it back, you fought for something that you believed in thoroughly. And this is the reason why we stand up. We stand up because even if there is casualties, even if we don't make it back, we can be one of those people who put forth our heart, our effort, our endurance, our pure spiritual ability to eradicate fear and fight for something that could change our future generations' life for the better. And I know I'm slowing and slugging over my words, but I'm trying to make sure I say the right thing. Because doing these outtakes and these endings, they're never easy. The words never come off like I want them to. So that's why I have to edit them out. But they're genuine. They're definitely genuine. I don't want anybody to think I'm a robot or anything. But those things are the things that keep us in the fight. And I said on the last video that we need some sort of code word or something, man. So when stuff hit the fans, we can identify each other. I mean, it could simply be a what-ifer, but everybody calls themselves what-ifers these days. One day I'm gonna figure it out. One day you guys gonna figure it out. Somebody's gonna put it in the comments one day and we all gonna roll with it. But these are some trying times. I mean, spiritually, mentally, financially, especially. Because I think if everything was okay financially, then mentally and spiritually, we wouldn't be struggling. But we have no choice now because we're met with some hard times now. But I want everybody to know, however it ends, whether we make it out of it or if we don't, it's going to be all right. Because you live again if you die today. You should never fear death because consciousness doesn't know death. Because there is no consciousness when you're dead. You don't even know you're dead. I think it's the thought of dying, and maybe the thought of dying slow. The only thing that you can do is pray for a quick death, something that's straight to the point. And I know it sounds a bit overbearing to listen to me talk about death, but death is a part of life, and we understand that we all gotta experience it one day. And one thing about it, we will never experience death ourselves. Our loved ones may experience our death, but we will never experience it. And I'm not going to keep talking about that because I don't want the show to become gloomy and down and sad. You know what I mean? So like I always say, do what you will with that information. And hey, if you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload. Hop in the description. Follow all of my social medias, especially the Rumble. I'm going to go live on there, you guys. I got real life out here, okay? So, yeah, it's hard. It's tough, but I'm coming, all right? Follow all of my social medias, especially the Rumble. And remember, challenge the argument and not the person.